YouTube? This week's video, we're back on the 7.3 IDI diesel race truck build. With just 1 week left, you might say it's crunch time. Who am I kidding? I'm allergic to working out. Yuck! In this video, we install these door reinforcement bars so I don't get T-boned and smashed up in there. We paint it yellow, we put some numbers on it, put a number on the roof, and recognize my biggest sponsor, and add some writing. And the best one back here. Tractor tires, which were the original and first tires that I bought to put on this rig. I also picked up the boggers later on, but I decided I'm going to put them on a different project. We also throw on some new shocks in the back and up front. So, according to the rules, we got to come 6 inches past the edge of the body onto the truck's bed. Let's do some measuring. That looks like about 6 inches. We'll give them an extra inch just to be safe. Right on here, and on the front, looks like at a minimum we'll go to the back edge of that F250 badge outline. But I think I'm actually going to come up into here somewhere. And the reason being, back where that F250 badge is, there's really nowhere that I can get through to put a bolt. But if I come down here, see how it dips in? Now I'll be able to come through with a bolt right along this fender well. X marks the spot where I'd like to be. Now this top edge of the front, we're going to bring back in at an angle like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it up here where I want it, and so I can trace that fender well area down into here, and then we'll angle it back so that this ain't sharp. Okay, so looks like I've got a little more figuring to do. I thought that was going to be a good spot. Looks like I need to be about here. So looking there, I think that's about an absolutely horrible spot from the inside. Only got a couple holes there that I can really go through, and that location's just not gonna work out the best. So I'm wondering what I'm gonna do. So down there didn't work. This is where we were hoping to get, but that is going to be real difficult to get to. So I'm hoping maybe I can just extend it another couple inches and use that one, because then I've got this hole that I can go through to mount. Yep, you guessed it, I'm filming. That dang train decides to come through every time. Every friggin' time. So I've just moved my lines back a little bit. Even if I'm a little too far, that's fine with me. I just want to be able to pass tech inspection. Got the air compressor airing up. Pulled out the plasma cutter so that we can do some plasma cutting. Alrighty, let's get to plasma cutting some shit. You know, guys, the reason why I do this channel is to encourage you. I didn't weld, I didn't plasma cut, I didn't know how to fabricate any metal. I barely worked on any cars. Didn't know how to do plumbing or electrical. I just believed in what God gave me. I started taking on projects. I started knowing that if I can take it apart, I can get it back together. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. And I just continued to do stuff until I built up my knowledge, built up my repertoire of things that I can do and accomplish. And I know that you guys can do the same things in your life. Working on that corner because it kind of bends around and gets a lot thicker. Compressor builds some air pressure back up, but there we go. We got it cut off. I'll use a flap wheel. I'll clean that all off. I'll knock the slag off, and But you can see what I was talking about with those corners. Man, they get beefy. Forever to air up, but it has been going for a minute, so hopefully I've got enough air pressure to start cutting this end out. Here we go with one of these corners again. Pretty nice profile, and a flap wheel will take care of it. Now, last piece we got to cut is an angle up here. Probably help if I change the tip in my plasma cutter, but I try to get the most out of my tools, and this is one of those examples that sometimes I struggle a little more to save probably pennies. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Worked on those edges a bit with the flapper wheel. Got them mostly cleaned up. I'm just noticing this now that I didn't get that edge cleaned up, but I got it mostly rounded off and cleaned up. So the next step is going to be to kind of look inside at the door, down in and whatnot, and figure out where I want bolts to go through this. And so then I can hold the piece up and marks on it where we want the bolts, and so I can start drilling holes. Okay, so we've got our first hole up here. X marks the spot, right? And we're gonna go like this, out. We're gonna go like this, so we know right where that's going to be once our piece is over the X, where we can mark it. I mean, we're not being perfect, guys. It's just a race truck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts through it, holding it to the body, plus it's going to be welded to the edge of the flatbed. Now, so what we've got to do is drill holes through to bolt this in through the side of the truck with 1/2-inch bolts. So I've got an assortment of washers that I use for this purpose as templates for my plasma cutter to cut out holes. So I go ahead and use a C-clamp, hold that washer in place. I'll go ahead and grab my gloves and we'll get that hole knocked out. There we go. Bolt goes in. Now we're going through kind of the same process with another piece of metal. It's just a tad bit smaller, but we've got it to the right length. Now I'm just going to kind of round off the edges with the plasma cutter, and we'll drill the holes so that we can get it drilled through. Good enough for whose truck I'm building. So got that front edge rounded off and got the holes drilled where I want them in this second piece. I need to go ahead and flap wheel those a little bit. Alrighty guys, so I got 3 bars all done up. Ends a little bit angled. Got them ground down with the flapper wheel. Got holes drilled in them. One is for the top side of the bed forward. One is for the bottom side of the bed and forward. And in this one is for the other side right along there, so that we can try to protect them batteries sitting right inside the door. Even though I've got 3 of those door bars made, I only showed you guys making about 1.5 of them. And so we need to kind of have a conversation as a channel, guys. Some people want to see more of what I do, but that makes the video super long, and then the view duration goes way down. Other people say that they don't want to see everything that I do, just kind of the progression. So drop some comments down below, give me some tips, give me some advice. What do you guys really want to see? Do you want to see everything that I do put onto these time lapses and some music playing? Because that's kind of what all the big channels do. But then a few of my friends have messaged me and said, I'm kind of tired of that. I actually want to see it in normal time. And I want to see what you're doing. I don't want the time lapses in the music. So I don't know, guys. Help me out. Drop some comments down below. Give me some of your preferences. Tell me what I should do with my videos, because you're the audience. In the end, you're what counts. So I used the scrubby side of a sponge. Got the side of the truck washed down. Washed the backs of these. And I'm going to go ahead and apply some Rust-Oleum to the back side of these door protection bars. And to where those door protection bars are going to go. Got that painted. Got the back sides of those painted. Now to get them mounted. Pulled that door bar forward. Got it lined up. Drilled my hole right there. Not easy going through this little square. Down at an angle and through that hole. But where there's a will, there's a way. After some major finagling, we got that front bolt in. Now is what I'm going to do is push in on this back and get it welded along the inside and along that. And we're using this new Vevor 250 amp MIG welder. Vevor decided to send me this to try out and review and use on the channel. I really appreciate it. If you guys are interested in any Vevor products, they sell all kinds of different tools, gardening stuff, automotive supplies. They've got all kinds of stuff on their website. Check out the affiliate link down in the description of the video and go and check out Vevor for me. It'd be much appreciated. So, I'm gonna get my gloves on, got my helmet on. I'm in absolutely awesome fabrication attire. That's all right. This is the workshop where we get shit done. There we go. I got that nice and tight in there. It's straight along the bed. That's awesome. Figured out why it's not feeding, and that's probably the 4th time in just 2 small welding projects with this Vevor that it's done that to me. And I think that a big issue is this 10-foot long welding lead. So to be honest, I'm not entirely happy with this welder, guys. So I took out 15 miles worth of wire, more waste. Let's see if we can get this wire to feed through again and hopefully try welding more. Nope. Yeah, I'm kind of done with this welder, guys. It did the same thing again, man. And exactly like I said when I first reviewed this thing, that 10-mile long lead is not going to do it any favors. That's the top of my garbage can in just 2 days. Now we're drilling out those holes. Yeah, that damn train decided to come through. I'm making a video. I mean, if I must say so myself, those side impact doors sure looking good. Hit that thumbs up, guys, before you take off. Really appreciated by this small YouTuber trying to grow, trying to beat those evil algorithms. Now that we've got those side impact bars mounted, it's time to give the rest of the truck a little bit of a scrub-a-dubbing, and then we'll get to painting. I'm not getting super into this wash job, just using a scratchy sponge pad, and we're gonna knock off any bird poop, flakes, things like this. Thanks a lot, bird. Oh, wax on, wax off. Alrighty guys, so we got it wet. We scrubbed on it a bit, and then we rinsed it pretty good. So now I'm gonna go get something to eat, let this sit in the sun and dry, and then we'll continue painting throughout the day. I didn't do a lot of recording during this process, but I just used some Rust-Oleum in a can and a paintbrush. You might say it's a 20-foot paint job. Any closer than 20 foot, she's ugly. Up close, you can definitely see the brush streaks. But that's alright, nobody's gonna notice that from the grandstand. Next, I freehand painted some numbers on her. Don't forget the other door, and even up here on the roof. I freehanded the Franz Farm logo on the hood. That's the farm where I work. I much appreciate that. They donated this scrap metal for me to build them door reinforcement bars and make the truck legal to race. Just want to do a quick video of this part of the paint job because I bought stencils, guys, and I'm using masking tape and taping up words. But the problem is when you get bigger words, violation, you need the I and the O again over here. So you end up having to do violet and then yun with a whole nother stencil, and it makes it kind of a pain. So if you're gonna buy stencils, I recommend buying 2 sets. So now that I've done the violet and put it over here, now I've got to take L-A-Et out and put the N in here. Now with the truck looking nice and yellow, we needed to do some writing. So I picked up some stencils on Amazon, and I decided to go with the junk vehicle theme. You follow the channel, you know since I moved to this little town of Lind, they've harassed me about my vehicles. Said they're code violations. They like to label my vehicle collection as a nuisance and junk vehicles. Hey Lind, got something for ya. We put some new rear shocks in this old girl. Out with the old crusties. We're working on the fronts. You know, it's kind of hard to give you guys a good, entertaining, or educational video about something silly like changing shocks. But I've got one tip for you. You see how they come with a wire holding them shut? I'm going to show you something. Now, a lot of people will cut that off before they start installing the shock. And then they're struggling with it to get it pushed in, to get the holes lined up and install it. I've got the bottom bolt already in. I have not cut that yet. Now, we get the shock lined up, push it back where it's going to be going, and then cut that. And then see it pushes right up into place where it needs to go. And you're not fighting it. Picked up the Killdozer flag on Amazon. Used me some conduit that I had left over from an electrical project, drilled holes through it, zip tied the flag on, and it's going to reside right back here in one of the stake hole pockets. Then we found this We the People flag, Don't Tread on Me, Liberty or Death, on Amazon as well, and it's going to go right over another stake hole pocket. With that, YouTube, we're going to call this 7.3 IDI diesel race truck build complete. Really hope you enjoyed watching the build. There's a whole series. If you haven't watched it, go back and check out some of the older videos. You're bound to learn something about these old 7.3 IDI diesels. Next weekend, I'll be racing. I'll post up some videos, how that goes. I never built this thing to be a race winner. I built it to go out there, have some fun, put on a show for the crowd, make lots of noise. It's kind of a charity event, brings in money to the town. So I'm just doing it to have fun, guys. Man, what am I gonna start working on next? Guess you better hit that subscribe button and find out.